Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's reading from Sri Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 17, verse 117 onwards. We will be reading. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamham vande Shri Gurum Deen Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. जलपान करिया नाचे हना विह्वल यमुना कर्षण लीला देखे सकला. Jala water panakariya after drinking, nache dances, hana becoming, vihval ecstatic, yamuna akarshan attracting the river Yamuna, lila pastimes, dekhaye sees sakala everyone. After drinking the water, Lord Chaitanya became so ecstatic that he began to dance. Thus everyone saw the pastime of attracting the river Yamuna. Purport: Yamuna Karshan Leela is the pastime of attracting the Yamuna. One day Sri Baldev wanted the Yamuna river to come before him, and when the river Yamuna refused, he took his plough, wanting to dig a canal so that the Yamuna would be obliged to come there. Since Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu is the original form of Baldev, in his ecstasy he asked everyone to bring honey. In this way, all the devotees standing there saw the Yamuna Karshan Leela. In this Leela, Baladev was accompanied by his girlfriends. After drinking a honey beverage called Varuni, he wanted to jump into the Yamuna and swim with the girls. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.6.5 that Lord Baldev asked the Yamuna to come near, and when the river disobeyed the order of the Lord, he became angry and thus wanted to snatch her near to him with his plough. The Yamuna, however, very much afraid of Lord Balram's anger, immediately came and surrendered unto him, praying to the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and admitting her fault. She was then excused. This is the sum and substance of the Yamuna Karshan Leela. The incident is also described in the prayer of Jayadev Goswami concerning the 10 incarnations. Vahasi Vapusi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabham Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamuna Bham Keshavadhrita Haladhara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. Verse 118. Madamatta Gati Baladev Anukara Acharya Shekhar Tanre Dekhe Ramakar. Madmatta, being intoxicated by drinking Varuni. Gati, movement. Baladev, Lord Baladev. Anukar, imitating. Acharya, Advaitacharya. Shekhar, at the head. Tanre, him. Dekhe, sees. Rama Akar, in the form of Balram. Translation: when the Lord, in his ecstasy of Baladev, was moving as if intoxicated by the beverage, Advaitacharya, the chief of the Acharyas, which is also called Acharya Shekhar, saw him in the form of Balaram. Verse 119. Banamali Acharya dekhe sonar langla sabamili nritya kare aveshe vihval. Vanamali Acharya dekhe see sonar made of gold. Langala, plough. Sabe, all, mili, meeting together. Nritya, dance. Kare, perform. Aveshe, in ecstasy. Vihval, overwhelmed. Vanmali Acharya saw a golden plough in the hand of Balaram, and the devotees all assembled together and danced, overwhelmed by ecstasy. Verse 120. E mata nritya haila chari prahar sandhyaye ganga snana kari sabe gela ghara. E mata, in this way, nritya, dancing. Haila was performed. Chari, 4. Prahara, a period of time lasting 3 hours. Sandhyai, in the evening. Ganga Snan, taking bath in the Ganges. Kari, finishing. Sabe, all. Gela, returned. Ghara, home. Translation: in this way they danced continuously for 12 hours, and in the evening they all took a bath in the Ganges and then returned to their homes. Verse 121. Nagariya loke prabhu yabe ajna dila Ghare ghare sankirtan karite lagila. Nagariya citizens, loke all the people, Prabhu the Lord Yahweh when Ajna order, Dila gave ghare ghare in each and every home, Sankirtan chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, Karite to perform Lagila began. Translation: the Lord ordered all the citizens of Navadvip to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and in each and every home they began performing Sankirtan regularly. Verse 122. Haraye Namaha Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Haraye Namaha, I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Hari Krishna, O Krishna, Yadavaya, unto the descendant of the Yadu dynasty. Namaha, all obeisances. Gopala, Gopal, Govinda, Govinda, Rama, Ram, Shri Madhusudan is Shri Madhusudan. Translation: all the devotees sang this popular song along with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Haraya Namaha, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram, Shri Madhusudan. Verse 123. Mridang Kartal Sankirtan Mahadhvani Hari Hari Dhvani Vina Anya Nahi Shuni. Mridanga is drum, Kartal is handbells, Sankirtan chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Mahadhvani, great vibration, Hari the Lord, Dhvani, sound, Vina, except, Anya, another, Nahi, not, Shuni, one can hear. Translation: when the Sankirtan movement thus started, no one in Navadvip could hear any sound other than the words Hari Hari and the beating of the mridanga and clashing of handbells. Purport: the International Society for Krishna Consciousness now has its world center in Navadvip, Mayapur. The managers of the center should see that 24 hours a day there is chanting of the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, with the addition of Haraya Namaha, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, for this song was favorite of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu's. But all such Sankirtan must be preceded by the chanting of the holy names of the five Tattvas, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. We are already accustomed to chant these two mantras, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advait Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. After these, the two lines, namely Haraya Namaha, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Gopal Govindaram, Shri Madhusudan, should be added. Especially in Mayapur, chanting of these 6 lines should go on so perfectly well that no one there hears any vibration other than the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. That will make the center spiritually all perfect. Verse 124. Shunya ye kruddha haila sakala yavana kaji pashe asi sabe kaila nivedanas. Shunya, by hearing, ye, that, kruddha, angry, haila, became, sakala, all, yavana, Muslims, kaji pashe, in the court of the Qazi or magistrate, asi, coming, sabe, all, kaila, made, nivedan, petition. Translation: hearing the resounding vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra, the local Muslims, greatly angry, submitted a complaint to the Qazi. Purport: the Faujadara or city magistrate was called the Qazi. The Zamindars or landlords levied taxes on the land, but keeping law and order and punishing criminals was the duty entrusted to the Qazi. Both the Qazi and the landlords holders were under the control of the governor of Bengal, which at that time was known as Suba Bangla. The districts of Nadia, Islampur and Bagoyan were all under the Zamindar named Hari Hoda, or his descendant known as Hoda Krishnadas. It is said that Chand Qazi was the spiritual master of Nawab Hussain Shah. According to one opinion, his name was Maulana Sirajuddin, and according to another, his name was Habibara Rahman. Descendants of Chand Qazi are still living in the vicinity of Mayapur. People still go to the tomb of Chand Qazi which is underneath a champak tree and is known as Chandkazi's Samadhi. Verse 125. Krodhe sandhya kale kaji eka ghare aila mridanga bhangiya loke kahite lagila. Krodhe in anger, sandhya kale in the evening, kaji the Chandkazi, eka ghare in one home, aila came, mridanga drum, bhangiya breaking, loke unto the people, kahite to speak, lagila began. Chandkazi angrily came to one home in the evening, and when he saw kirtans going on, he broke a mridang and spoke as follows. Verse 126. Eta kal keha nahi kaila hindu yani ebe ye udyam chalao kara bala jani. Eta kal so long, keha anyone, nahi not, kaila performed, hinduyani regulative principles of the Hindus, ebe now, ye that, udyama endeavor, chalao you propagate, kara whose, bala strength, jani I want to know. Translation: for so long you did not follow the regulative principles of the Hindu religion, but now you are following them with great enthusiasm. May I know whose strength you are doing so? Purport: it appears that from the aggression of Bakhtiyar Khilji in Bengal until the time of Chandkazi, Hindus or the followers of the Vedic principles were greatly suppressed like Hindus in present-day Pakistan. Practically no one could execute the Hindu religious principles freely. Chandkazi referred to this condition of Hindu society. Formerly the Hindus had not been straightforward in executing their Hindu principles, but now they were freely chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Therefore, it must have been by the strength of someone else that they were so daring. Actually, that was the fact. Although the members of the so-called Hindu society had followed the social customs and formulas, they had practically forgotten to execute their religious principles that strictly. But with the presence of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, they actually began following the regulative principles according to his order. The order still exists, is still existing, and anywhere and everywhere in the parts of the world one can execute it. That order is to become a spiritual master under the direction of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu. The regulative principle: chanting daily at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and this is follow the regulative principles, chanting daily at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and preaching of the cult of Krishna consciousness all over the world. If we adhere to the order of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, we shall get spiritual strength without a doubt, and we shall be free to preach this cult of the Hare Krishna movement and not be hampered by anyone. Verse 127. Keha kirtana na kariya sakala nagare ajiyami kshama kari yaitechon ghare. Keha anyone, kirtan chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, na not, kariva perform, sakala nagare in the whole town, aji today, ame I, kshama kari excusing, yate chon I am returning, ghare home. Translation: no one should perform Sankirtan in the streets of the city. Today I am excusing the offense and returning home. Purport: such orders stopping Sankirtans in the streets of the world's great cities have been imposed upon number of the Hare Krishna movement. We have hundreds of centers all over the world, and we have been specifically persecuted in Australia. In most cities of the Western world, we have been arrested many times by the police, but we are nevertheless executing the order of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu by chanting on the streets of all important cities such as New York, London, Chicago, Sydney, Melbourne, Paris and Hamburg. We must remember that such incidents took place in the past 500 years ago, and the fact that they are still going on indicates that our Sankirtan movement is really authorized. And for if Sankirtan movement were an insignificant material affair, the demons should not exist. The demons of the time tried the demons would not object to it. The demons of the time tried to obstruct the Sankirtan movement started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, demons are trying to obstruct the Sankirtan movement we are executing all over the world, and this proves that our Sankirtan movement is still pure, genuine, following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Verse 128. Ar yadi kirtan karite laga lag paimu sarvasva dandiya tara jati ye la imo. Or again, yadi, if kirtan, chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, karite, to do, laga, contact, paimo, I shall take, sarvasva, all possessions, chastising, tar, his, jati, kas, ye, that, la, imo, I shall take. Translation: the next time I see someone performing such Sankirtan, I shall certainly chastise him, not only by confiscating all his property but also converting him into Muslim. Purport: to convert a Hindu into Muslim was an easy affair those days. If a Muslim simply sprinkled water on the body of Hindu, it was supposed that the Hindu had already become a Muslim. During the transition of the British in Bangladesh during the last Hindu-Muslim riots, many Hindus were converted into Muslims by having cow's flesh forcibly pushed into their mouth. Hindu society was so strict at that time that Lord Caitanya that if a Hindu were converted into Muslims, there were no chance of being reformed. In this way, Muslim population in India increased. None of the Muslims came from outside. Social customs somehow or other forced Hindus to become Muslims. With no influence, with no chance of returning to society, Emperor Aurangzeb also inaugurated a tax that Hindus should have to pay because of their being Hindus. Thus, all the different because of their being Hindus, thus all the Hindus of the lower section of society voluntarily became Muslims to avoid the taxes. In this way, the Muslim population in India increased. Jan Ghazi threatened to convert the people into Muslims by simply processing the process of sprinkling water on their bodies. So thank you for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. We will be reading from verse 129 onwards next time. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Today's Safal Ekadashi, so very happy Safal Ekadashi to all those who are observing.